poor people, like African children, dying because of no food or water.
Africa.
Children in different countries suffering because of the greed in other countries. Yeah? Understand me?
Chris Martin droning on, but somebody has to.
Ethiopia, South Africa, places like that. The way Russia used to be.
I conjure up an image of third world children, probably.
Something's down hard on the luck. Probably not had many breaks in their life. Not had the opportunity to make something of themselves, really.
Poor children running around hungry and nothing much to wear.
Poor people in Africa.
Well, I think of times just after the war when things were really tough.
I think of poor children, no money, starvation, just people on the streets basically.
Yeah. What do you think then? Poverty in the UK?
I didn't know there was poverty in the UK.
Deprived neighbourhoods, people living below the breadline.
North England.
Half of them look as if they'll never have half as much as what I've had up to now. Do you know what I mean? They look as if they're down and out, so to speak. They look as if they've not got much at all.
I don't think poverty in this country exists beyond the 18th century.
It's bad. It's really bad. I mean, I've been brought up in Glasgow and this is the worst place for violence and that.
You can't really call it too much of a poverty because there's help, isn't there, from, they get help nowadays.
I believe there is poverty in the UK. I think it's perhaps not seen, not known about.
I think of children whose parents are on drugs and can't take care of them and don't educate them properly.
I don't think there is any real poverty.
Well, I reckon it's all gypsies and, the people who live on streets.
It's definitely not young mums with babies, is it?
No, because they're given a lot
they're
of money
given
by
a lot
the
of money
government,
by the
aren't they?
government.
Families with children, obviously.
Well, some pensioners are, and also some youths who have left school with no qualifications whatsoever, and some immigrants, I suppose, who have come from other parts and are working at very low-paid jobs.
People that live in flats, I guess, like in the city areas.
Asylum seekers and homeless people.
Certainly the unemployed, the illiterate, the people who left school early.
Black people and a few Asians.
I believe that the bigger cities, there's more of a class divide.
Homeless people, squatters, people starving, alcoholics, drug users.
Mixed race people that went from abroad somewhere.
Single mums, people who have come from abroad, don't speak the English very well, so they don't know what they're entitled to.
Pensioners, I should think. A lot.
Well, a lot of pensioners.
Yes,
one-parent families.
People in high-rise flats.
Probably the very elderly, the unemployed, and people who were born probably poor and have remained poor through their life.
Quite difficult question. You don't sit down and think about it, do you?
No.
No.
Do they create their own poverty?
Do they
a lot of them,
sometimes create it?
Whereas we're careful with everything we spend, and we don't smoke, we don't drink a lot.
I think the main cause, he said, is being greedy and not sharing.
Violence, alcohol is a main thing.
People grow up without hope and they live without hope and they have no expectations and they don't see anything beyond the horizon.
Unemployment, probably not being in work, because anyone who works in this country probably has a fairly good life standard.
Our income is crap, so that really sent us down to the lower point, really. And I think that's where you get poverty come in.
Irresponsibility in a lot of cases. I mean, a lot of poor people seem to have money to buy drinks and that type of thing, which I find is all wrong.
Oh God, unemployment, debt, too many credit cards, just in the way up.
Not being able to cope with things and just life just going wrong for them.
Class separation.
Inequality, I suppose. It's just greed, isn't it? Really, people not caring for other people's needs.
A number of things, I suppose, isn't there? You know, different government, rehousing people, finding people jobs, stuff like that, I suppose. You know, it's a long list, isn't it?
See all the buildings around, they're empty. They should refurbish them and get everybody living in flats and all.
Go back to Tony Blair, education.
I think there should be actually more activities and things for like children and stuff to get out there and focus their minds on something else than going to bad company then ending up with nothing at the end.
Maybe pay them less money to be out of work.
Don't have so many foreign people coming here. Perhaps that might help.
City things like skate parks and stuff to keep people out of crime.
Give them tokens instead of money.
Yeah.
To be spent on food and clothes.
I do believe that people who earn money should pay more taxes for the people who are unfortunate enough not to work or not able to work.
Well, I would say the minimum wage should be put up for a start, and it should be more strictly regulated. And, you know, employers who are not paying the minimum wage shouldn't be allowed to get away with it.
I think a lot of people don't use their money wisely.
No,
you know,
probably not.
Yes,
no,
too many temptations. Some people, at any rate, to spend their money recklessly.
I don't really know. Like everyone always says, give more benefits and give more benefits, but that doesn't really help the problem. So you need to give more like employment opportunities, like real employment.
Change of government, but I don't know who, because they're all as bad as each other.
Proper jobs and, you know, proper income.
Tony Blair could have done what he says he was going to do in the first place.
I suppose the initial guidance should come from the government, but then the family structure is important as well.
The government?
Yes, definitely.
The government, yes. And they don't do much about it, do they, really? They just line their own pockets.
Oh dear.
I think it's everybody's responsibility, but of course it's the government's first. We vote them in, so therefore it's our responsibility too.
I suppose it's down to the person who's either homeless or poverty, like, you know. I suppose it's down to them, really, get themselves out of the situation they're in.
It's got to be the government, hasn't it?
Surely.
Yeah. We're really an affluent country, and we should all realise that, you know, it could be us, and so we should all be doing something towards it.
Everybody's really, it's the government, but it's also employers. Because like it's really hard to get a job if you've never had a job for say 10 years, even if you're a skilled, trained person.
Apart from the government, it's everybody's responsibility.
Yeah, I would say the government. I mean, they run the country, or supposedly.
I would have definitely said the government, yeah. Yeah, and individual councils in their own areas.
I think it's the government. Because we can only do so much as a population.
Governments, isn't it? The Queen's. She don't do nothing.
The government, he should do something about it. Because it's a disgrace.